What is going on, everybody? Let's see here. We got some people in the chats already. All right. Cuddle Time Critters. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Underworld Creations. Appreciate you all tuning in. So I was a little bit late because I had a backup getting my kids home from football practice. So I apologize about that. Um, We got Underworld Creations, Scotty, Nick. Appreciate y'all letting everybody know that the show will go on. I'm just running a little bit behind. Um, Leica, appreciate you for tuning in. Um, let's see here. Larry's claiming that shirt. Says he wears 3X on the shirt. Okay, we got you in. BJ, appreciate you tuning in, brother. So I'm gonna start the 15 minutes. I'll give it some grace period. We'll do 8:10. Since I was late, we'll do 8:10. So at 8:25, I will set the alarm for all the comments for everybody to be entered in the raffle for the free shirt. So now that I got that squared away, Flex and Pythons, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you for tuning in. I'm gonna bring our guest on. Like I said, appreciate all you all tuning in. And if you didn't know and you're just watching this just because you're a loyal follower and you haven't seen my post already, I'm doing a free t-shirt giveaway. Everyone who comments something as simple as "Hey" in the comments in the first 15 minutes, which is going to start at 8:10. No, each comment is not one entry. Each person that comments is an entry. So, with that being said, you can get your wife on here to comment, but each person is an entry. All right. Flexing. I know you got them scissors, man. You use them scissors to cut the shirt off if you win it. That's all I can do for you. All right, y'all. I'm gonna bring our guest on. Y'all help me welcome Michaela to the stream. What's going on?
Hey, everybody.
So, hiss and tail, no reptiles, no ball pythons, just hiss and tail, right?
Hiss and tail. Okay.
Awesome. So this is Michaela with Hiss and Tail. Um, I guess why don't you go ahead and start by telling everybody a little bit about yourself and who you are?
So yeah, my name is Michaela. I run Hiss and Tail, fairly new at all of this. I live in Florida, just moved here. So trying to gain our roots down here in Florida, and I've got 3 little ones. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Boys, girls, mixture.
Mixture. My youngest is a boy, and my 2 older ones are girls.
How do they
Ages.
feel about the snakes?
Oh, they love them. They
Love them.
help out. Yeah, they love them.
That's awesome. Kids and the snakes is definitely an awesome thing. My older boys, they've got some bearded dragons, but they kind of just walk by through here every day, twice a day, uh, like it's no big deal anymore to go outside to the truck. My youngest boy, who's a little bit over one, is fascinated by everything in here. So that is
Yeah.
awesome to me. I love him coming in here. So we got Christopher for Thatcher. I don't want to butcher your last name. Appreciate you, Chris, tuning in. So it looks like there's a Facebook person here. If you don't click on the link when you're watching from Facebook, I can't tell who you are. See, it pops up Facebook user. Hello, guys. Good evening. Appreciate you for tuning in, whoever you are, though. Excuse me. All right. So you said that you're fairly new to the hobby,
Yes.
and how new is that entail? How long, as far as how long have you been? Well, I say to the hobby, but see, it's just like me. Like I've had reptiles and had snakes for many years before I ever started thinking about even breeding or knowing that there was this other world out here of people who would like to tune into a podcast to see one breeder talk to another breeder about what they got going on
Right.
at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. So, well, how long have you been keeping reptiles in general? And how did that start?
So keeping reptiles in general, like my whole life.
Yeah.
growing up, I would find snakes. I would try to keep them. My mom would be like, "No, those belong outside."
Right.
But I've always kept reptiles, snakes and reptiles. But as far as in the hobby of breeding, that's been about the last year and a half.
Okay.
Is when I got started. Um, I got my first ball python about 2 years ago, and after one ball python, then you get another, and then next thing you know, you have 17 of them.
Yeah.
So, and just keeping and doing that, I took an interest in the hobby, started following people on Facebook and on Instagram, and it just kind of piqued my interest. And yeah, so it's been about keeping a lot for about 2 years, but breeding about a year and a half. I had my first clutch hatch in May of this year.
Okay. Awesome. What was that pairing, and what
It
would you
was
produce?
it was fire spider and super fire, and I
Okay.
got 4 super fires out of it.
Awesome. Awesome. Did you keep any back out of that?
I did. I kept one girl, one female, and she's all white except for like a little yellow patch on the top of her
On her
head.
head.
Yeah.
Awesome. And those super fires have all black eyes. Does yours have a little red slit? Can you see a red in the
Mm,
very center of the eye?
I don't know if I've looked super close, but they look black.
Yeah, all black. Yeah, I know I've seen some. I believe have the red slit in the center of their eye. I know they say that in like certain banana combos that are like super, as far as, so say you have like a blue out Lucy that's also banana. You can see red through the center of the pupil. If there's light shining through, like if you take a light and shine
That'll
through
be cool to see.
their head or something like that. Um, I can't remember who I seen that on, but that was pretty cool fact. So Cuddle Time Critter says it is their first year breeding too. Awesome. I love to see people that have gotten into the hobby and are experiencing all the things that come with it. I was actually just talking to a girl. She her first clutch just came out, and pretty nice, couple nice snakes in there, some pastel inchy hypos and stuff. So it's all good stuff. So as far as this year, that was your only clutch, or was that just your first clutch?
That was my first clutch.
Okay.
I don't have anything in the incubator right now because I took a pause on pairings and stuff during my move. I didn't want to run the risk of having eggs and trying to move them. So
Right. Yeah.
I started pairing again about a month ago. And I've got Superfire, who I am pairing with a Leo Mojave, and I've got like 5 others that I'm pairing. A Firefly and a Pastel. I've got to look over there because otherwise I can't keep them all in my head.
No, I got you.
A Spider Het Ghost with a Pastavi Vanilla Het Ghost,
Okay.
Lemon Blast, and Super Fire, and then a Pinstripe and a Banana Sunny Champagne.
Okay. So it sounds like you've
Yeah,
got some pairings. You like those extreme patterns with the spider and the pinstripe, and
I
then
do.
the
Yeah,
opposite spectrum of like
the
that
all
all
white.
white, all,
Yeah.
yeah. I get it. I can see the pieces of the puzzle. Spider is like, in my opinion, one of the most powerful and beautiful pattern mutations that there is, and it's just unfortunate that there's such a negative connotation around it, because I believe I've only ever hatched one or two that has any type of wobble that I was like, oh yeah, that's a wobble, and I've hatched multiple spiders, um,
Yeah, I
and
hatched a few spiders from this last clutch, and you couldn't really tell.
yeah,
My very first ball python that I purchased is a spider,
Yeah.
and his wobble is major, but it doesn't hold him
Really.
back. Like he eats
Still
live.
eats. Yeah.
Yeah, like doesn't hold him back at all. So yeah, I don't like the stigma around it because they thrive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we got a question for you here. Gary Reffett says, only sell local or do you have a store on Morph Market?
I have a more market. There's nothing on there right now because my whole clutch is I sold them all, but
She sold out.
I did. So, but I do have a morph market.
Awesome. Awesome. Christopher said he just had his first clutch pip this year, pastel leopard to stinger bee. Hope you
Nice.
got some pretty good combinations in there. Leopard and um, what's stinger? So that's spider pastel. Uh, so stinger. Is that pinstripe? Le-
I'm
Spider
still learning all
pastel
these
pinstripe.
morphs. I'm
See,
still
because I know
learning.
a honeybee is pastel spider ghost. Uh, hmm. Let us know what that is, that stinger bee, and what you got in the comments there. Um, let's see here. Make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. Everybody's wanting that shirt. Underworld's XL on the shirt. All right. So okay. Well, cool. That's awesome. What would you do? You have other snakes and ball pythons, right?
I have one.
Okay.
Um, he's a rat snake.
Yeah, I was creeping on your Instagram. I thought I seen a different species other than the ball pythons, but I know a lot of times, like me, I'll take pictures of somebody else's stuff too.
I
Uh,
had a hog nose, but not a super fan. Um, so I had a hog nose, and I sold her before I left, before I moved. But the
okay.
rat snakes, he's my daughter's favorite. He's pretty chill. They're so much different than a ball python.
Yeah, yeah. My buddy Gary's got a rat snake, and I kind of fell in love with it. Uh, and started looking at them, and then I fight with myself about that stuff, like getting into other species and um, being all over the place, and kind
Yeah.
of it just it's a constant battle with myself because I want everything, but
I know.
it's you just kind of have to have that balance, um, and I know what I absolutely love, and I know what keeps me going, and that's the ball pythons. I do have a few boas and stuff like that, but I may end up still getting a rat snake, but I think it's one that I'm just gonna do like as a pet, and when I do those, like I space them out, every once a year, once every 8 months or so, like that. I have three, or two snakes and a tegu that are my pet snakes. Not wanting to get rid of them. Have no intentions of breeding them or anything like that. Was
Yeah.
gonna breed the berm, but then I thought real hard about that and was like, nah, man, I don't want to be dealing with a 16-foot Burmese female trying to
That's a
take
lot.
eggs. Nah, I am not Jay from prehistoric. So it's not my deal.
Yeah.
I jump at hatchlings. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Uh, let's see here. So Christopher said it's inchy spider.
G
Inchy
spider.
spider. Are you sure pinstripe's not in that? Yeah, Cuddle Time says pinstripe. Is that pinstripe? Are you saying pinstripe pastel spider for the stinger bee? See, because I know it's inchy spider. I know that inchy pastel spider is, or what's the queen bee? That's with lesser in it. Uh, so bumblebee is spider pastel. Stinger bee, it may be inchy spider. I don't know, man. I'm drawing a blank on that. I've definitely heard of them, but so let's see here. We got Jacob asking, "Did you miss a shirt?" Nope. Actually, there's 3 more minutes, and the time limit will be cut off. I got an alarm, so when you hear the alarm, if you ain't commented and you're watching, See, there's 11 people watching. If you haven't commented, then you missed your entry for the shirt. Flexen said that you have got to jump on the Super Dwarf train. Man, I just like I don't know. I can't pile up on the retics. What do you think about the retics? Well, you're down in Florida now. Can you even have them down there?
What are they?
Reticulated pythons?
Uh, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I think
sure
if you
the
already have them, you can get like a permit in order to keep them. But I don't think you can like in the future or wise like purchase or sell.
really okay. Yeah, I hadn't looked into the actual laws that got put into place or the ordinances or whatever they call them, but I know there's a big fight not too long ago for Florida regulations on um, bigger snakes. I think lizards as well. South Carolina was involved a little bit after that.
Yeah, you
Uh,
can't have like tegus or anything like that down here. Um,
yeah,
and in order for me to sell, I do have to get a permit, which I'm working on now. So
even the ball pythons, really.
yeah,
Hmm.
in
Where'd you move
order for
from?
me to sell to like any type of stores or chains, I think, and even on Morph Market, just to sell on there. And I moved from Virginia.
Dang, that's a haul.
Oh yeah,
That's a
it was
haul.
it was a big move. Worth
You're,
it
you were
though, for it
you
to
were
be
up by
80
me.
degrees down here right now, and
Yeah,
I'm
that
still
is
in shorts.
nice. That is nice. I used to live in Florida. I love Florida and South Carolina.
Yeah,
That's where I pretty much grew up. There's a lot of wildlife down there. There's a lot of stuff you can go out and find. Do you like doing that type of stuff, herping? Going out and
I never have.
you
So
got to
I
do
would
it.
love to, but I want to go with someone who's like experienced and like,
Yeah.
you
Are
know,
you
show me around and stuff.
central southern Florida or about in Florida you at?
Central. I am on the Atlantic coast, um,
Okay.
about an hour or so from Orlando.
Okay. Yeah, you're not too far. You got to go down to the Everglades and drive around,
I'll
find
just
something
be
up.
scared of alligators. I don't
Yeah,
want to run
they're
into any of those.
they're scared of you. They're scared of you. I was actually talking about this to a guy earlier today. Super old post that I had a uh, so that's 8:25. That's the time. So let me see who's the last comment. The heck was that? So it looks like this is the last comment at 8:25. So I'll take a picture of that. But anyway, I was talking to a guy in a group that I had posted. I don't know. I can't even tell you how long ago, but I had a Mangrove Monitor. You ever heard of one of those?
No.
It's a type of water monitor, and I had two of them. Jeez, I had two of them, and um, it was one of those things where I was like, "Oh, I want this is a dream animal. I want this. This is a dream animal," and I was just stacked in here in my reptile room, drowning and stuff. I'm in school for HVAC, get my journeyman's license and associates, and it was just like suffocating. I was up to here and stuff to do. So I said, you know what, I gotta back off. Something somewhere is gonna end up getting neglected. And I've got four boys from 14 all the way down to my 1 year old, so um, that's not to mention my 50 other hobbies that I do, hunter, fisherman, all this other stuff. But anyway, I ended up posting to rehome this Mangrove Monitor, and I never deleted the post. I didn't even think it was still out there. I guess somebody was scrolling so far, and they were super bored to be scrolling back in this group that far. Yeah, and found it, and they commented on it, and then because they commented on it, it repopulated it, and then the guy that I'm talking about uh, commented mean little bastards or something like that. I think mean something mean, but he said mean. I know he said mean. And I said, "You spelled defensive wrong." And then he was like, "You or the animal, somebody's butt hurt or something like that." And I'm like, "Man, like I wasn't trying to be a smart ass. I was just I was being funny, first of all. Second of all, uh, it is important though that when you make comments like this, or that you don't make comments like this at all, if you don't know what you're talking about, for people who may be interested in, you know, looking into that species, because you said that they are mean, when that's not the case. You know, reptiles in general, they're not sitting here, with a stank ass attitude. They're not sitting here like, oh my god, this is butterflies and rainbows today, like joyous. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
don't get me wrong. I think that people can definitely read their their mood, if they're in a mood to be handled, if they're gonna tolerate you, to be dealt with today, whether that's because they're full and don't want to be messed with, like you after Thanksgiving dinner, or they are super inquisitive and are tired of being in their enclosure, whatever the case may be. That is the type of thing that I mean, by telling that guy like you're putting bad information out there for people to see, and it's important that you don't do that if you are wanting to be beneficial to the community. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
it's uh it's like people when they say like, "Don't bring that snake around me," and I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I? You're obviously scared. Why would I bring my snake around you? What good is that gonna do? Why would I?
Exactly. Right.
You know what I mean? Have you had people like you work or something like that where? Sorry, I think my wife just started the dryer, and I can hear it through here. Can y'all hear that?
A little
But
bit.
anyway, have you had people, or like you're talking, well, maybe you don't say it, because I know some people who breed and they just like, I don't even bring it up to nobody because I know what they're gonna say. But like, people are like, well, what do you do for fun? You're like, oh, look at my snakes, and they're like, oh my god, don't bring that around me. I'm like, you're like, we're at work, Susan, what are you talking about? I'm like, why would I? This Fifth Third Bank, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna bring it into a bank. Can't even, you know what I mean? Like it don't make
Yeah. I've had
sense. Is
people
that?
say stuff like that, or even family members that found out I started keeping and breeding. They're like, "Well, I'm never coming over to your house." I'm like, "That's fine. You don't
Yeah.
have to, but just know they're in their own separate room. I'm not going to bring them out and show them off. Like if you don't, you're not comfortable." So yeah, definitely been there.
Do you follow DW Exotics, Dre?
I believe
Do you know?
so.
Yeah, he made a funny video uh, about people like that, like people saying, "I'm not coming to your house," or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
about that. And he's like, "Wait a minute, who invited you? I didn't invite you.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" And it's true, because it's like I have had plenty of family members over here, and if I didn't tell you that there was almost 100 snakes in here, then you'd never know it. Because I'm
Right.
not gonna sit here and antagonize you with the snakes when I know that it's something that you're fearful about. Now, if you're on my Facebook and you see, I got snakes, and you come over and you're like, "Hey, Ramel, show me them snakes. I want to see what you got going on. Let's go. We'll go. We'll go
Right.
explore. I'll show you some crazy cool stuff. You know, show you what I've been working on, what I plan on working on for the next 20 years. You know what I mean? And I have done it, and I've blown plenty of family members' mind and changed them from thinking that a ball python was going to escape and eat my son in the middle of the night when it's not even
Yeah.
possible.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, yeah. Now I can see, if I had like a 17-foot Burmese, how I may need to think about taking some extra precautions when I have a baby. But still, at that, I take extra precautions with my Tegu. Like I don't
Right.
want her to be out when my son's in here, because I don't want her to bite him. Like it's not that she's ever bitten me or that she does bite, but it could happen. So I'm not gonna do that. Now, a hatchling ball python is a completely separate. He may get bit and be like, "What the heck was that? Did
Right.
something just stung me a little bit," and not even cry. So,
That actually
uh,
happened to my oldest daughter. We were at a photo shoot and she had one of the hatchlings in her hand, and she took a picture and there was blood on her finger, and she was like, "I didn't even realize she bit me."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens quick, and a lot of times I talked about this before. I think it's just the buildup of anticipation of getting bit, like you're anticipating getting bit,
Yeah.
and that that heart drop hurts you more than actual getting bit, you know. So let's see here. We had some comments come in. Frankie says so true. Um, BJ says has to be on their terms. That is true. I don't, you know, like I don't try to persuade people. Um, if they're like, you know, I'm good on that. I don't want, you know, like I don't. You're good. Like we have. There's enough people who haven't been exposed to it that be like, wait a minute. Like you get, there's other ones than the one at PetSmart that's brown. You know, like that's the only one I ever
Right.
seen. But I seen that one with albino. It's got red eyes. I don't like red eyes. You know, and then you show them a a super fire, black eyed Lucy, or a bell, you know, blue eyed Lucy, and you're like, what is this? And you blow their mind. You ever seen somebody's mind melt when you tell them about what you do, and then you show them pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
I actually
There's a couple.
went for a job interview the other day, and they were like, tell me about yourself and your hobbies, and I brought it up, and they're like, really?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
mouth to the floor. Can't believe
Yeah.
it. It's crazy. So we got Gary says, "What's your favorite recessive?"
My favorite recessive. Um,
Can y'all still hear me? Okay.
yeah.
I'm trying to turn the dryer down so it's not banging in the background. I think my wife's washing my hunting clothes. But go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
That's a good way.
Oh yeah, she's the best.
Um, now I'm drawing a blank. Name off some recessive.
I'm trying to see what you probably would like with the pattern. As far as what pattern recessives, clown, puzzle, exantic. Um,
Xanthic, I have not. I have a red Xanthic that I plan on working with in the future, but she's still young. And I would say, I mean, clowns. I love clowns. Um, I've got a few het clowns actually. I have a normal who's het clown. Actually, I
you
have
got some
three.
hypos too, huh?
Yeah, I've got a few. Hypo. I would probably say clown.
Clown.
I think clown. I love the way it looks with so many different things that you throw into it.
Yeah.
I have a blade clown. Um, I like the cleanness of that, but I also
Yeah.
like the craziness when you throw in other things. Like I can't think off the top of my head right now, but I just love the clown looks with anything.
Yeah, clown is. I mean,
And
it's
it's so
definitely.
easy to distinguish. Like that's clown. There's no
Oh yeah.
guessing if it's a clown.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's no
Yeah.
denying the clown when you see one. I believe one key identifying thing is no eye stripes for a clown. Like there's no eye stripes in a clown. Um, I mean, if you look at a clown head stamp and you say there's something else than the clown, then well, I guess with the krypton cryptic thing going on, have you looked into that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Krypton and
Um,
cryptic.
a fellow breeder, one of my friends, he mentioned it to me. And I looked into it a little bit, but it's so confusing to me.
Yeah.
Like,
So from what I understand, a krypton is 100% het cryptic and 100% het clown.
right.
So there are some breeders who are finding that their snake is not het clown and it's het cryptic, and they're pairing it to a clown and producing kryptons.
Yeah.
So then when you pair a krypton to something that is het clown and you don't hit a clown, you don't know if it's 100% het clown or 100% het cryptic. Hopefully, I did not just screw my own brain up with that explanation
Right. That's
because
what
I
I'm
was
saying.
pretty
Like,
positive on how that went until I heard that come out of my mouth. I've never explained that out, but I've done a little bit of work on that. And if anybody's listening and understands the clown cryptic krypton thing, put a little explanation there in the comments for us so we can know for sure. Um, I've got a bunch of different recessive that are my favorite. I can't even begin to even pick a favorite. If I did, it's gonna be Ultramel. I love Ultramel. You know, Ultramel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ultramel is it's probably one of my favorite. Other than I've got a few Azantics. I like it in Azantics and super brighter combos with fire and pastel. Um, of course, clown. I mean, clown is that's a morph. Me and my buddy were looking at like when jeans first popped up, and if I'm not mistaken, like clown has been around as long as like pied and albinos have.
Right.
One of the first recessive morphs, a lot longer than I thought. And you think with the market and a combo that is only 4 genes in clown or 5 genes in clown has never been produced before is impossible, but it's not. It's not. It's not impossible for you to produce something that's never been produced, this year if you have the right combination of genes, and it can be a 2 or 3 gene to a 2 or 3 gene. I'm pretty
Right.
sure I produced 2 or 3 last season. Um, 2, I know for sure, and 1 I'm not completely positive on, but no recessives, just co-dominant genes, just incomplete dominant genes, and it's crazy. It's crazy thinking about how many have you seen how many snakes are on Morph Market right now?
Like a lot.
Yeah, 30,000.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say snakes. Ball python specifically, there's
Yeah. A lot.
30,000. So all right, we got some knowledge being put on here. So, like it says,
Oh
clown,
yeah.
desert ghost, and spider, all from 1999. Yeah, that's uh, that's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy. All right, Brittany, Harris, appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you. Larry, so you you've been helping with homework, man, but you didn't read the post. Listen, it will be drawn at the end of the show. See, there's a strategy to everything. I get you to comment the first 15 minutes, then you go take a nap, whatever, feed the kids, do homework, then come back at the end of the show and tune in again to see who won. Strategy. Or you can just watch the whole thing like a dedicated fan that I know you are. I'm just messing with them. But yeah, so that was I guess you said you really don't have one, but you're working with hypo and or clown. You said clown. I'm sorry, that's how
Clown.
we
I
got.
would have, if I had to pick, it'd be clown. But yeah, I'm working with clown, hypo, and then in the future, um, Xanthic, at some point when she's ready to go.
Okay. Um. So let's see here. Do you have oh, I guess you're still being in your. So this is 2022 is going to be your sophomore season, or like this is technically your second year going into your third year.
I guess this would be like my second year going into my
Yeah.
third year. Yeah.
Okay. Um, how many snakes do you currently have going right now?
27,
Okay.
28, including rat snake.
Nice. And couple that are still raising up to breeders,
Yeah.
some
I've
breeders.
got quite a few that I'm raising up for
Yeah.
breeders.
Yeah.
Um, and then I've got quite a few that'll never breed. They're just my
Yeah.
pets.
I got you. Um, Let me answer this question real quick. Flexing says, "When's the end? Got stuff to pick up and put down." You must be talking about some weights. Uh, I don't know why I would guess you'd be picking up some weights with a name like Flexing, but let's say I don't know, man. Some of these go an hour and a half. Some go 2 hours and a half. I've had one almost go 4 hours. 3.5 hours. Um, I don't know, man. You could tune back in. I'll post something like on Instagram and Facebook, letting the person know who won if they're not on at that moment. Um, but I'll definitely it'll definitely be probably more towards another hour or so, hour and a half at least. Um, all right, we got Lucas putting some more knowledge on us. So albino was 1992, Ghost was
Mhm.
94, caramel albino was 96, Xanthic pastel and piebald was 97, and Woma yellow belly was 98. It's
Wow.
crazy thinking, and see me, I still think like when I see 90s, I'm like that was like 10 years ago, right?
No,
But
it's like,
shit,
I know.
98. I mean, even 98. I don't even want to do math. I'm not even gonna attempt to do math in front of this camera right now.
Right.
But that was like 20 something years ago, 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. BJ Combs says I try to watch all shows. Getting up at 3:09 sucks. That's a super specific alarm you got set, bro. You gotta
309.
yeah, you gotta change that to 3 o'clock a.m. You might as well leave that that 9 minutes alone. Tell Michelle to Melissa's Gary, get off with the foolishness, bro. He's want me to tell my wife to message his wife back. All right. So what's what what word is that? Oh, Pentecostal.
Pentecostal.
Shit, this is a Pentecostal podcast. That's a good one. That's a good one. He's just kidding. He's just kidding. All right. So let's see here. You're in. I know you're on Facebook. You're in some of these, ball python groups. I'm assuming
Yeah.
you've joined some of the local ones where you're at now, and was in some of the local ones where you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were as far as like some common husbandry, and even on Instagram and stuff like that? I think a lot of those get weeded out real fast because, like, I love Instagram. Like, Instagram's like the no bullshit zone. Like you can't you'll get chopped up real quick if you're on that the stupid shit that Facebook allows because of feelings or whatever the case may be.
Right.
It's not all the way perfect, but it's better, in my opinion, for our community. Instagram is a little bit better. But what are some common husbandry issues that you see? That people do in their keeping habits, breeders or just keepers.
Um, I think the one I see the most is enclosure size and lights.
Yeah, like too big of an enclosure and
Right.
just
Too
using
big. They think they
plug.
need like this huge enclosure.
Yeah,
Um, and lights. I'm like,
yeah,
I think those two are probably the biggest ones that I've seen the most of.
yeah, yeah. And they'll fight you for it too. If you say something, they'll fight you for it. I typically will tell people like or ask them, "Are you open to a bit of suggestion?" Because
Yeah.
at some point they either had somebody come at them and they have a guard up to avoid helpful hints, or they have never heard any advice and they are embarrassed because you just told them that they're doing it wrong. So
I
it's
learned
kind of
real quick. You got to be able to take constructive criticism in this hobby and learn,
yeah,
never stop learning. I think that's one of my biggest things is never stop learning. Because there's
for sure.
always a different way to do things or a better way or a more efficient way. Um,
Yep.
Thankfully, when I purchased my first ball python, I got him from Royal Coils,
Okay.
and she made me send her like photos of my enclosure
Mm.
that I had because I first started keeping in tanks
Oh yeah,
before I got
yeah,
the racks, and she had me send her photos of my enclosure, what I had in there, the temp gauges, everything to make sure that it was correct before she would send them to me. So I'm very thankful that she did that and had me look everything up beforehand.
Right.
So she didn't just, I wasn't blindly just doing all of this. And she's a good friend to this day. And anytime I have a question or, you know, an issue, I'm always like, help.
Yeah.
um, that's another big thing is leaning on each other, asking for
Yeah.
advice or making friends in this community. We're not, against each other. Yeah, we're all selling, we're all, doing the same thing, but this community I've found has been one of the best communities like I've ever been a part of.
Oh yeah,
Um,
for
and
sure.
it's amazing to see so many people support each other. And that's one of the things I really do love about it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've made one of the best friends that I've ever
Yeah.
had in my life because of this hobby. And I have I've been like an addict to hobbies. Like I'm extremely ADHD and I can't just not do anything. Like
Yeah.
it's just not possible. I don't. There's never been a time. I'll take it back. 10 days when I had COVID, I did nothing, and it about killed me. Not the COVID, the doing nothing
Doing
about
nothing.
killed me. My
Yeah.
brain about melted from not being able to do anything. Luckily, I had a little bit of something to keep me busy here. But then I'm just I'm scared to spread stuff. You know what I mean? I'm gonna spread the COVID. So you know I there's hobbies that you would think like the the relationships are so close knitted, you know what I mean, that doesn't even touch what the reptile community is, and it's awesome. It's real awesome. um, so let's see here. A couple people comment. Let me Leica is being a informational book right now.
Ooh, I
Mojave's
like it.
2000, Lavender Albino, Reddy's Antique, Pinstripe, Platinum, and Spot Nose. So Platinum, if you all have never heard this gene before, I believe it's the Platinum and Lesser that make the Plat Daddy, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Leica. And those were in 2001, and then Butter, Cinnamon, Banana Fire 2002, Calico in 2004. Like when I see that, I'm like, that's not too long ago. Like that's
But it
you know,
is.
you yeah, but it is.
Like 20
But you
years ago.
yeah, but you would think like those genes coming out that it'd be nothing to have 7 genes and almost every snake that you get. But okay, think about that. In you know 15 more years, let's see, it's like 2004 for Calico. One of the world's first that I produced was a Calico combo of 5 genes, but that specific combo had not been produced since 2004. What's that? 17 years, going on
Yeah.
18 years. That those genetics were out there or being discovered and not been produced. That's what's crazy. But one thing that I was going to touch on that you had said was like people not really being in competition with each other, and like the how the community is. See, one thing that I feel like there are those people who feel like they have to be cutthroat, and they feel like they
Right.
don't have to, or they shouldn't help others, this and that. I know there's a couple of them in the comments, and a couple people watching right now that have bought snakes from me, and the way that I treat them from the moment that I meet them to today will never change, and going forward will never change, because it is not about like. So my thing is like I named my business what it is because of I wanted to like incite unity. Can't speak tonight. Incite unity, right? Because initially my name was like region specific. Like I was, it was bluegrass royal pythons or something like that. And somebody who's like a Duke fan or something, or someone who hates Kentucky could be like, I'm not buying no snake from him. He does have what I want, but I'm not gonna buy it because he's in Kentucky. I don't like Kentucky. You know what I mean? So that made me start
Right.
thinking like, because I had already seen how the community was. I was already following a bunch of people on Instagram and seeing like how they are, and like these people are in Canada, California, Utah, Colorado, here, this and that, and they talking to each other like they're best friends, like they've known each other, their entire life. But they met them 4 months ago because they followed them, and then they just started talking this and that. So that type of stuff just doesn't happen. But people want you to be successful because really, in all reality, it's like after this today, we continue conversations on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, and you may say, hey, what do you think about this? And blasey blasey, I'm looking into this, and I say, oh, that's good. And you're looking at it from this one breeder, and then you realize that I have that gene, or that somebody else has that gene, and then you end up, connecting with other people, other breeders, which ultimately, like my buddy was telling me, is that like most of our clients and most of our people who buy stuff from us are other breeders. So we have no
Right.
reason to want to, um, you know, not help another breeder get into the hobby or like build their collection up and do it
Right.
right. But I mean, I think that some people are just cutthroat business people, and they're going to try to sabotage you no matter what, and let you like tell you what you want to hear type of thing. You know what I mean? Just to get a sale. And I've never been like that. Like I quit car sales because I couldn't put a family in a car, and I knew that they couldn't afford it. Like he was stretching
Right.
to get to that car payment. You know what I mean? Like you make money doing it, but dang, it was not for me.
Yeah, if
Uh,
you're, I mean, this is more, it's more of a customer service
yeah,
standpoint than sales. I mean, if you're in this hobby for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
yeah.
I mean, the
I
money,
don't.
I mean, I honestly, I would say I don't even really make money. Like I'm
Yeah,
spending more than I'm getting
yeah,
in. I'm doing it, as a hobby. So, and I
yeah,
want to produce, beautiful snakes, and I want to see other people enjoy these beautiful snakes.
yeah, yeah. I really think that it is. It's almost impossible to want to do it from a business investment standpoint and instantly make money.
Yeah.
Like I'm still not in the green. Like
Yeah.
I have had like 15 or 16 clutches that I've hatched out, and I'm still not in the green. There's not been now let me take it back. Maybe if I didn't reinvest, maybe if I was like, okay, put this back into what I've already spent to pay that off. But I don't see a reason. It's like you take $500 and then you make 1,000. Why would you take 500 back and then to pay yourself back and put another 500 back when you can put the entire 1,000 back in,
Yeah.
and keep building and building.
Yeah.
That's me, at least in the first couple of years, is going to be my philosophy. And not to mention, like, this is the coolest thing ever to like get new pickups. I got 3 snakes coming from Bob Vu tomorrow, and I'm so excited. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to sleep.
It's
Some
exciting.
nice quality snakes. Hypo, all of them are hypo, except for the male is het hypo, um, and they're really nice. I've got one more breeder to check off my list of like breeders that I want to get from, and that's Ozzy Boyd's, but he won't message me back.
Oh,
I got one
his
from
snakes
Justin.
are
Yeah, I mean,
just breathtaking.
yeah, Ozzy's got like, uh,
The
you just
oranges
yeah
are
yeah
insane to me. Like,
like this.
right, yeah.
Brighter, but brighter, but brighter,
Brighter.
but brighter. All right, so we got hella comments that I've missed out on here. So I don't want to miss anybody. So we got Sean. Hello from Kentucky, everyone. Just got my first one this weekend. Already want more. Yeah, it's addicting. You're not gonna stop at one. I can guarantee you that. Seleka says, "Sorry, I'm looking at an article from Reptiles Magazine 2004, and it included all of this. That's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Flexen said, I stopped caring about Facebook groups. Honestly, I get really annoyed with admins dictating every post and reply on posts all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a power trip for the admins
Yeah.
sometimes.
In
Sometimes.
certain groups, there are some groups I'm in that are actually pretty decent. So,
Yeah. So John says that goes both ways, though. I know several admins that act like they are the world's best and won't sorry and won't listen to people. Let's see. Rural Business Reptiles. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's see. It says Gary says there are assholes in the hobby, but the majority is what matters. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. There's definitely gonna be scum and everything, everything that you do. But I think that for the most part, everybody's for the most part everybody's. I mean, I like I said this before. I just don't understand how people do this and don't enjoy the snakes. Like how do you, unless you just hire, like you're like a silent partner, like you just want to invest, like like you think of it like stocks or whatever. I don't know. Like I just couldn't come in here and clean up snake poop and and clean rats every week, and all the stuff that comes with it. That's not the pretty stuff that I post on Instagram. You know, heartbreaking stuff of losing babies or whatever the case may be, and not enjoy every bit of it. You know what I
right.
mean? Like I don't know how people do that. It's crazy. GP Snakes, what's going on? Are you following this man right here, Gershon Porter?
I don't think so.
I know you've seen it. I know you've seen that logo. He's everywhere. He's
I know I've
everywhere.
seen it.
You got to check him out. He's putting in the work and
I'm gonna go on here
definitely
now and
definitely
find him.
deserves a follow. Let's see here. John says, I'd like a silent investor, like a real silent investor. Like, don't say nothing about nothing. That's the only thing that sucks. People are not gonna just be like, yeah, here's this, and then not care about what you're doing. I don't want to nitpick, and you
Yeah.
know. So Gary says he's a Brittany Gobbles fanboy.
Yes.
He's not lying. You know who
Yeah.
Brittany Gobble is?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got some hellified snakes, but she is one that has, and she's admitted this on a post. I'm trying to remember what I think somebody like messaged her and was like, "Hey, can I can I breed snakes for you? Like you buy the snakes and or get some of your snakes and like I'll breed them for you and like split the money with you or something like something stupid. Like I don't even understand how people come up with this stuff. Like how they think,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But and she kind of went on a rant about how like hell no, like I've went in debt over this. I've had thousands and thousands. I think she even said like $30,000 in debt specifically at one point, you know. Um, and you hear that and you're like, oh my God, I could go into debt so bad. You know, you could, and you could lose everything. You could lose your shirt if you're stupid about it and you're only thinking about the money. But if you
Yeah.
love what you do, it shows. People have told me like time and time again, like, man, you take it to where it needs to go. Not cutting corners and doing your due diligence shows, and people will come back to you because of that. Um, I mean, I don't, I don't ever have people that complain about anything. Like if anything, I've buddies that like literally are like, nah, man, go, don't even offer that snake to me because I know you're gonna try to cut me a deal. You're gonna look out for me. But I'm like, look, this is what it's all about. Like I'm gonna hook you up. Help you build up. That way,
Right.
because we got different eyes, so you see the world differently than I do. And if you're working on some projects over here, I'm working on some projects over there, and we need to scratch each other back real quick, we can do that, and we can know that everybody has good intentions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
100%.
uh, but Brittany, oh my God, I couldn't even. If somebody was like, guess guess how much her collection is worth? I couldn't even begin to tell you. I mean, I know that she's got some crazy expensive snakes, and that's just ball pythons. I know she's got some nice boas too, some nice boas and some nice hog
Yeah,
noses.
I would love to keep boas. I just don't think I have the space, or I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I don't have the space. That's the biggest
it,
thing is space.
that's what these enclosures over here is 6x2x2s, and I've got three big boas in them. And if it wasn't for remember when I was telling you my wife's the best, she gave up her garage. This is her garage, but it's converted into my reptile room. And if I didn't have that, then there wouldn't be no big bows. I'll tell you that much, at all.
Yeah,
So I'm lucky when it comes to that. Uh, let's see. John says I have a few breeders here that we loan and borrow snakes. It's really nice.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So have you done breeder loans or talked with breeder loans about to anybody?
Like, no, not at all. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. So all right. I've been meaning to touch on this one for a while because like it's a topic that I don't
I would
hear a
pre
lot of people.
I'd be a
Go
little
ahead.
hesitant, I think.
Yeah, the only time I hear people talk about it is when it goes bad, and
Yeah,
I feel like if it was talked about more before, and everybody's expectation was on the same level before, then it would be better. Now, don't get me wrong. Like 80% of the ones I'm hearing, talk badly that are having problems. Uh, the one that they're talking about is a real piece of shit. Like they've done some messed up stuff. They're saying that they didn't have babies. They're saying that you know, um, all types of crazy stuff, or they you know they're being caught red-handed and they don't want to own up for their silly mistakes. But anyway, the correct and only way that I feel like it's fair for a breeder loan to happen. Um, well, I won't say the only way because there's different circumstances. But let's say me and you were gonna do a breeder loan, and you were like, I've got this male, and he is a whatever 4 gene het clown female or het clown male. Um, and I was like, okay, well, I have a clown female, and your male, in my mind, and you agree, is equally as valuable as my female, or close enough to not feel like you're walking away like I have no reason. I don't need you. Like I have no reason to for you to bring your mail up here. Like I can just put one of my mails with it, right? But like I'm
right,
benefiting from it and you're benefiting from it because I didn't have the mail to produce what I wanted and you do. So we're both happy with this pairing, but I have the female. That means that it's a 50-50 clutch with the person who has the female getting the first pick. And what that entails is that if there's a 7-8 clutch, person with the female has the the mom of the clutch gets first pick, and then you go back and forth until the clutch is gone. Now let's say that I have a pastel female and you have a ultra male clown hidden gene one with pastel inchy yellow belly,
oh
and
my
i'm
goodness.
like and I'm like you trying to pair your male up to my female, and you're like, sure, I send me your female and I'll pair them up. But in that sense, I would be silly to think that just because I have the female that I get first pick. When my female I got off Craigslist for $150, and you
Right,
paid $2,700 for yours or whatever. Ultimate Clown 3 co-dominant gene, 3 incomplete dominant genes is going to cost more than that. But just saying,
right.
um, that's how it should work. Like that you gotta whoever you do the breeding loan with has got to be someone that you trust, that um, you can communicate well with, and know that they're not going to screw you over. You know,
I was
um,
just gonna say a trust would be a huge thing in this.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it would have to be somebody I've known for a while, done business with for a while, um, anything like that. Um,
Yeah.
and it's got to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done a few, and all of them have went, flawlessly. Um, I actually had one guy that I incubated his clutch for him because he didn't have an incubator. And when his clutch hatched, he didn't hit any visuals of what the double het pairing was. So
Oh
everything
man,
was double het. But I know that it was double het because I seen both parents that are visual for one gene and visual for the other gene. But I guess because they were all normal looking, he just didn't even answer me, just did not respond. So I ended up with 6 snakes that were all 100% double het, but are normals. Um, so I was like, okay. I mean, I kept a pair. I gave a pair to my buddy, and another one away. And I mean, I'm just like, what the heck? What's going on
that's
here?
crazy.
Drill, Daddy Daughter Reptiles says I'm late, but I'm here. Appreciate it, brother. You know who I was talking about. Um, let's see here. So we got some sidebar conversations going on. Hair breeder loans are usually messy. So I haven't had no issues, but like Michaela said, I try to do it with people that I trust and know. I've got one with Drill, that daughter reptiles. Trust and known him for a long time. I've got one going with my buddy Gary. I've uh, I've known him not nearly as long, but definitely someone that I trust um, so much to watch my collection while I'm gone on vacation for 7 days. So that says a lot about him. Um, and I've got a couple, I think two other ones. And then I've got a guy that just bought a breeder female from me and doesn't have the space and wants me to pair her for him for a split catch. Uh, that's one that I've never done before, but it's someone that I trust well enough, and I've done business well enough to not feel like, because there's still ways that people could complain about that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's a lot that can go wrong in those issues, and you just got to kind of be on the same page, do the same page. Um, so GP says he do a contract before, so both parties know what is going on, so there's no surprise.
that's
See,
a good idea too. Having
that
it in
is a good,
writing.
yeah, that is a good idea. But I don't want to do I don't want to do business with nobody. I gotta put my name on a piece of paper.
Right.
Like when I say business, I don't mean business. I don't want to do a breed alone with somebody. I gotta put my name on a piece of paper. Like
That shows distrust in a way.
I've had my buddy Jarrell Snake since like mid last season, and she just hasn't went. She hasn't built follicles. She hasn't done what females do when they're in that process of building follicles and stuff like that. Um, Now she's starting to cool seek. Uh, Ultrasounding her, I think she was at like 10 millimeter follicles, centimeter millimeter follicles. She's probably gonna go this year. So, but I say that to say he's not been hounding me about her. He's not been beat my door line. Man, what's going on with that female? We got, is anything? Because he knows when I know something, he'll know something.
Right.
When she is about to ovulate, when she's at 30, 45 millimeter follicles, and I'm like, man, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. He knows that I'm gonna let him know, and that's just how it has to be when it for me for this type stuff. And I don't like there. Who you shouldn't do stuff like this with because you don't really know about them. If you got to think about it, then you probably shouldn't do it because this can get real dicey, like real dicey.
Yeah.
Not like you got to think about the pairing or you got to think about uh if you don't want to pair it to your snakes, but if you got to think about the person, you know what I'm saying? You got to think
Yeah.
about like, would they do me like that? You know what I mean? Then you shouldn't. Not my issue. But John, I wasn't trying to pick on you with that. I wasn't saying that that you will have issues. I'm not trying to bring that to fruition or anything like that, brother. I'm just stating, bringing up some conversation that I had been meaning to talk about before in other podcasts and stuff like that. So Gary says, speaking of breeding loans, I need Romeo. That's my boy. Um, he's a banana black pastel Russo. He's pretty impressive. Oh, was you taking a drink of water? My bad. Oh.
Oh, wow.
He's actually the dad of a couple of my world's first. Well, oh, throw that away loosely. I've not seen that they have been produced yet, and I can't find any record anywhere. World of Ball Pythons, Morph Market. You know what's crazy is, and this is what stops me a lot of time, is that there are so many basement breeders, and not. I'm not using that term like they're literally in their basement with one rack with five snakes. Like, I mean, like, they are basement breeders where they don't post on Instagram. They have a Facebook, but they barely post there. But they got $300,000 worth of snakes in four racks. You know, that would
Right.
shit on most people's collection. You know what I mean? And they produce stuff every year, and there's like a little small circle of people that they sell their stuff to, and they've been doing this for
Yeah.
25 years, and they've got some of the craziest stuff that you had ever seen. You know, those are the people that make me say, like, oh, this has been produced before, but nobody said anything about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they hit that back in 97 when it, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I stupidly, I actually sold this boy a couple months back, but my good buddy Nick, he actually, he sold him back to me. He wanted something else that I produced. Which
They're gorgeous.
I believe was a world's first as well too. Um, you know, all these I've not even submitted to World of Ball Pythons. I need to do that. I had one that I was submitting, but the picture frame, the weight, the ratio that you have to have your picture, I couldn't get the picture to size out to that, and then I ended up just being like, screw it. Stuff like that aggravates me, man. That's why I don't put out too many YouTube videos and stuff. Do you do YouTube? Got a YouTube channel?
I don't.
Uh-oh. GP, get on her. Buddy
I
Gershon
don't
with GP
think
Snakes.
I don't even remember the last time I got on YouTube. Like,
Really?
a lot of my stuff I watch is on Instagram, Facebook. Um, Usually when I go to YouTube, I'm searching for something specific and I look that up and I watch a few videos. Um,
So
yeah,
I have to say, don't sleep on YouTube. It is a very my damn fly zapper ain't working. There's a fly swimming around here. It's annoying me. There is a lot of information on YouTube.
oh,
I
for
would
sure.
I
Yeah,
would be I would be lying if I told you that a great deal of my knowledge didn't come from YouTube. You just have to be able to decipher what's good knowledge and what's bad knowledge. I have a knack for like being able to see through like people and like, if they're going to be worth my time or not. Um, but I also wasted a bunch of time on a lot of dumb YouTubers. But I spent like probably close to 7 months every day
yeah.
and every night up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning on YouTube, um, Facebook, different stuff like that, researching before I ever like really dove into
Yeah,
like full fledged.
a lot of my knowledge has come from YouTube. Like I use it. I don't have like my own channel.
Yeah.
But I mean, I use it for a lot of knowledge. Um, I think the person I've watched a lot is a Canadian breeder. Um, Mutation
You talking about Billy,
Creation. Yes.
the goat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Everybody
love
knows
him.
him.
So I watched a lot of his. When I was breeding rats, YouTube helped me a lot too.
Yeah.
Um, I stopped that really quick though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know anybody who doesn't like Billy. Apparently there are some people because he used to rant about them. But I think that those
I
people are
love
the
his
impossible
rants.
people. Yeah. He kind of stopped doing it though, if you notice.
Yeah,
But it's because he's over it. He's got his Patreon, and if you were to complain on there, then he probably would rant like, "Why are you paying for this?" And then gonna complain. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
telling you. But he's just straight up, and he's a great person. So I definitely I've got nothing but love for Billy. Um, so GP says, yeah, YouTube is great. Cuddle Time says YouTube is my TV. I can definitely understand that one. And Flexen says YouTube is better than TV unless Georgia Bulldogs are playing on TV. See, I'm kind of sensitive to Georgia right now. They just beat UK, not too long ago. So you got to watch what you say on this podcast, man. It might get. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that hardcore sports person, but Georgia did just beat UK, unfortunately, in football. YouTube, it's like what I don't even think that there's been a time that I'm in my truck and I don't have it playing. I drive a lot for work, like between everywhere around the state, and I'll have it playing for, I don't know. There'll be stuff playing that I don't even know what is going on because I'm in my phone looking at something different, or I'm just lost in the country looking for deer, trying to see what I can see. But YouTube has got to be probably my number one tool when it comes to anything. So do you breed rats now? I guess not, since you just moved.
No, I was trying it and it's just so much work. Like, and I found out I'm allergic to rat urine and I'm allergic to pine, which I found out during the whole process. Um,
Mm-hmm.
at one point, I think I had up to like three to 400 rats,
Wow.
and it was just too much. I was in over my head. So,
Yeah. Rat breeding is its own beast.
yes,
Not even
it
gonna lie.
it wasn't one I wanted to tackle anymore. So I go out and buy my feeders now.
I'm sorry. I'm messaging my wife. I'm trying to get her to get together the list. I had this all planned out to where she would be taking down the names for the first 15 minutes, and then she could get the list together and send it to me, and then that way I can pop it in the wheel and do the spin the wheel at the end of the show. Um, so I may end up getting the names myself, going back and looking once we end everything and doing the spin to win then, uh, and do it that way. I think because she says that it's not showing her times, so she doesn't know exactly when someone commented. All right, so John says yes, and it is time consuming. Rat breeding is definitely time
Very,
consuming, um,
yeah.
and you have to have the space. You need to have proper ventilation. Um, there for a while, I was losing rats left and right, like breeders and stuff. But I think I was just not timing out my retirement. Sending them to retirement early enough, and they were just I guess breeding too much. But I think we got it down packed. Me and my buddy Gary, we breed our rats together, and we've kind of leveled out to where we are definitely producing enough between the two of us. I think we're feeding close to 150 a week, rats a week,
Nice.
wean, small pups, all the above. Um, but anyway, let's get on with it. We got, um, so we talked about the common husbandry issues that you come across, and the reptiles that you keep. And we were kind of talking about this just now, the tools and resources. Um, what are tools and resources that you would recommend, to someone that was wanting to get into breeding or that was already in breeding and that came to you with a question that you may not have thought of when you first started, or anything like that?
What I recommend, I mean, with anybody new is, you know, creating friendships. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Um, and learning from other people or other people's mistakes or other people's, wins. Um, I think that's probably what I've learned the most from is just from other breeders and making these friends and these connections. The other is the Facebook groups, YouTube. Um, I mean, everything is at our fingertips. I don't want to say Google. Don't Google. Like,
Yeah.
when I say Facebook, YouTube, like look up other well-known breeders and like
Yeah.
those kind of things. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, that's definitely some good advice, and trying to find along with that somebody who would be willing to mentor you that knew what they were
Yeah,
talking about. Um, a lot of people want to be like buddy with the biggest guy on the block, buddy with Billy, or buddy with you know whoever. I mean, and they have thousands of people that want to do this. Not
right,
saying that you can't comment on their stuff, or you can't message them and they'll message you back, because most of them will. I'll message Billy on Instagram. He messaged me back. You know, I have who's another one that I messaged? I mean, shoot. When I was buying my snake from Justin, his phone number was on there. I called him. It got to his voicemail. I was like, what am I going to talk about if he answered? I don't even know why I was calling him. Like, I was like, is this really his phone number? I'm going to call him. Now, if was that his cell phone? I don't really know, but it said it was his cell phone. So, but everybody wants to have that big boss breeder, that breeder that's made a real big name for themselves. But there's a lot of breeders out there that are up and coming, or have been doing it for a few years, that are super knowledgeable, that have
right,
had mistakes. I've got a guy that I lean on a lot, that a lot of local people have not heard of. But when I tell you that this guy has some killer knowledge in reptile keeping in general, don't have to specifically be ball pythons. Like, I mean, dude's a walking encyclopedia, and one of those people. You ever known? And you may be one of these people. I'm not. I don't remember people's first and last names that I went to middle school with. It ain't gonna happen. Not even high school, much less that. And I'll be having a conversation with him. I was buying some snakes from him one time, and he was telling me these people's first and last name, and where they're out of, and this and that. And I'm just like, man, how do you retain all this information? This is why I don't read books. Like, I'll read, and then I'll have read it, but I've not read it, if that makes sense.
right.
Um,
No, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, and he's definitely super knowledgeable. I've got a couple people. I know a lot of people think like, I guess I just get my information out of the air or something like that. Um, that I know it all, which I don't at all. But I listen well. I don't read well, but I listen well, and I retain that information, and it's a passion of mine, so it matters to me when somebody's talking about something that is, um, you know, important information, or if it, when pertaining to this hobby. Um,
Right.
so I definitely think that you all, now don't get me wrong, I don't feel like it's right for someone to like. I, I talk to people about this all the time. Like, don't take a step and then go, what do I do next? And then take a step. What do I do next? And then take a step. What do I do next? Why wouldn't they just do it? Like, if you're gonna say,
Yeah.
what do you think I should get with this $1,000 I got? And you don't come with them with like a base plan. Well, I was thinking about these 3 genes here and pairing it with these 3 genes, but you just say, what do I think I should get? And then say, well, I don't know what you like. I don't know what makes you go, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I think super fires are beautiful. I love all white snake. I've got some bells in the incubator right now. I think they're beautiful. But I'm not going to have a rack full of them. I've got 2 all white breeders. That's probably going to be it. You know what I mean? Um, Everybody sees what they want as the best, or what they feel is like just the almighty holy grail of what I want differently. You know what I mean? Um, and that's the beauty of this. Like when people say it's an art, you know,
It's
trying to
yeah,
trying
like
to
an
paint
art.
that picture. So you definitely gotta be able to kind of meet somebody halfway. Um, I think I have people who like don't reach out to me in certain situations because they feel like they're annoying, and those are the people that I'd rather help over the ones that are like, well, what would you do if you had this, and what would you want to pair to, you know, without like telling me or them even knowing what the possibilities of those pairings are. You know what I mean? Like doing some calculations on Morph Market,
Right.
or telling me that, well, I really like this combination with that, but I mean, don't you think that it'd be better for the long run if I wanted to produce Xanthic clowns, that I go ahead and pair my Xanthic to my clown rather than my clown to my head clown, or whatever the case? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that meet me
So
halfway type of thing.
one of the breeders that I lean on a lot, his name's Mike from Reptiles.
From
He
what now?
Rip City.
Rip City? Okay.
He posts in a lot of the groups. So you probably seen like him posting around, but that's kind of what I do with him. I'll send him like, hey, I've got this girl. This is what I'm thinking. Just help me walk me through like what are my odds with this one? Am I doing this right? Am I calculating this right? And he's like, and I've asked him a couple times, I hope I'm not annoying you. Like I message you all the time.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. Yeah.
like, he's always like, oh, never. Like I will talk reptiles, I'll talk snakes all day.
Yeah.
So that always makes me feel good. But I've gotten quite a few snakes from him too. So
Yeah.
you know, that's kind of what I do. I come to the conversation already with like my end game,
Right.
but I want somebody else's opinion on my decision in a
Right.
way.
Yep. It makes it known that you are not mooching and trying to um mooch. You're not trying
Right.
gain something for nothing. You know what I mean? Like I literally answer questions about this stuff at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I love it when I know that you love it and that you're going crazy on it, and you're um this is you're constantly asking questions when the proper times are, like this podcast right here, when I bring on a breeder every week. You know what I mean? You tune in and you're like, man, I've been waiting all week to ask this question. Ask them what they think about, or what's their or what's this or what that. You know what I mean? um those type of people, like I'll answer anything that they got. You know what I mean?
Right.
um so sorry, I'm trying to take a picture of all these comments
Oh yeah.
so that she can try to get these names put in. It looks like there's quite a few entries.
There's quite a few people commenting right away.
Yeah, yeah, people wanting that shirt. I only got small and extra small, folks. Sorry, it was clickbait. I'm just kidding. All right, so I think I got everything up until 8:25. All right, let's see here. Make sure I missed no comments. Billy and Kevin always seem to return your message. Yeah, they do. I've never messaged Kevin McCurley. I'm assuming that's who you're referring to, John. Kevin McCurley. Flexen said, I text Garrett super drawer free tick questions sometimes, like twice. Did he ever respond to you? All right. Flexen says, I'm flex out of that shit. Ego boosting sizes. Hmm. Wait a minute. Did I
For
miss something?
the small, extra small.
Oh. All right. I'm drawing a blank. Uh, Gary says, spew if you know, you know. No, I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
I'm missing that one too. John said that might fit my arm. Kevin from Nerd commenting on one of my videos. Dope. That's dope, man. Kevin's he's the one that I learned all of my monitor taming tactics from, and understanding. Um, like he's one of those people that when he explains like how to tame or how to care for a monitor, you have got to be out of your mind to disagree with what he's saying. Like it's like giving you the formula, and there's no other way around how, like, people, I don't even understand how people could even start to say like, no, that's not right. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
almost like
Yeah.
he asked him himself, how do you feel? Like, what do you think about this when I do this to you? Because it works, and I'm telling you, like, it's crazy.
How old
You
is
ever
your Tegu?
She will be one in another month and a half.
No.
No. Yeah. Like a month in 2 weeks. Like the first or second week of December. They didn't give me the exact day, but it was December, like the beginning of December. Should be one.
Yeah, my
And
daughter my daughter has a couple of leopard geckos. That's about snakes and geckos. That's about it.
you ever thought of venturing off into anything other than ball pythons?
Um, I want to eventually. We're renting a house right now. We plan on buying next year, so hopefully when we buy, I'll have more space and I can maybe take over the garage of the house we buy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so eventually I do want to go into other species, other reptiles.
What are you thinking
But
about?
um fortunately you can't have a tegu because I would
Yeah.
love to. But I don't know. A lot of the ones that I would want to, I can't have down here, so I'll have to do some more research to see, what else I can venture out there for. Um, Definitely no venomous. That I don't think I could ever keep venomous. I know a
Yeah.
bunch of people that do. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. You got to be a certain amount of, like, don't take this the wrong way, anybody who's keeping venomous, but you got to be a little crazy. Like,
You have to have a certain mindset, and I feel like you know I don't know what word I'm looking
I
for,
think it's
but
the crazy mindset. Like,
right.
not like crazy, like they need to be hospitalized, but like they're not afraid to die. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
not afraid, and
and like, it's one of those things where, like, okay, well, somebody could argue like, well, I just look at it like you like riding a motorcycle, and it's no more dangerous than you riding a motorcycle down the interstate, and it's true, but my motorcycle's not gonna bite me if I forget to put it up. So, and then I'm
yeah,
gonna die. You know what I mean? Um, but it's teaches their own. People probably look at me like, like non-snake people. They probably look at us and they go, they're gonna kill you. And then we look at them like, are you silly? Like, you don't even know what you're talking
right,
about. They're not gonna kill me. And those venomous keepers probably like, man, you're silly. Don't talk about me like that. Like, I know what I'm doing. They're not gonna kill me. You know what I mean? I know how
yeah,
to uh to read people.
exactly. I
And
love to look at them, but I don't have that mindset. I couldn't do it. I think a big part of me is I've got three little ones at home too, and I wouldn't want to risk that. Knowing how comfortable my kids are around reptiles,
yeah,
like that's another big thing. Like my son will come in here and just open one of the racks and pick up a snake. My
yeah.
daughters are the same way, so it'd be too risky with those little ones.
How old are your kids?
My son's 6, um, middle daughter is 8, and my oldest daughter is 12.
Okay. Um, so I guess they don't have any issues getting the snakes out and kind of determining
No,
how to hold them and stuff like that. Yeah.
they're all really, really, really good around them.
Yeah.
They like to learn. When we had the first clutch, my middle daughter sat with me while you know, I did cut my eggs on the first clutch, and she sat and I was teaching her about everything. She's just soaking it all in. They're little sponges, and they all love it. My oldest, she's taken a liking to the rat snake more than the ball pythons. I've noticed.
Really?
So, yeah,
You know why that is?
I think because I don't know, it's a little bit more. It moves a little bit more,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and she
Captures
likes.
her attention.
Yes, I don't want to say not as boring, but
Yeah.
a little bit more
Well,
entertaining.
it's like this. Like ball pythons, like
And
if you love ball pythons and like they captivate you, you won't even realize that they when you're looking at something that it hasn't moved in the past 10-15 seconds because you've been
right,
lost in the pattern or you've been lost in like
yeah,
the colors going off, and that's just how they are, and that's why I have multiple species. I rarely ever really handle my breeders. I'm not afraid to admit that, and I'll talk about that. But that doesn't make them mean. It doesn't make them less
right.
tame. I don't. None of them. I'm not gonna go in there and one day they're just like, who are you? I'm not gonna mess. No, I'll bite you. That's not gonna happen. They just they're just who are they are what they are. I have snakes when I want to handle them. The berm, the retic. You get those snakes out, constant. The
Yeah,
boas, same way. Even the big girls, they don't want to hold their weight up. They're just like, if you don't hold one of them, she likes slapping you with her tail. If it drops, I mean, I'm thinking like, oh dang, did that hurt? I'm trying to like grab it and stuff, and she'll just, did you just drop my tail? But they are definitely more inquisitive. They move around more,
yeah,
and that's kind of what drew me to my buddy's rat snake. When he got it out, I was like, "Oh dang, look at that!" It's pretty.
right.
It's a nice like rose orange, burnt orange type color. And then I got on Morph Market. The devil's out. I'm tell you,
Yeah, I know
I've got so many
it.
so many logged hours on that thing. It's ridiculous. I got on Morph Market and I started seeing. Um, they got like some crazy colors. And then my buddy, I told you, who's kind of been like a mentor to me, he breeds king snakes, Brooks king snakes, freaking pine snakes. I mean, all these colubrids that I've never even known how cool they are, and I'm like, man, stop! Like I can't do it. But I'm gonna get some of the probably a pair of the pine snakes that he's got. Maybe a pair. I don't know. People often come to me for like corn snakes and stuff, and I'm like, I don't breed corn snakes. But they want something. They're like, I kind of get offended, but I'm like, I understand. And they're like, I just want something a little bit not as boring as a ball python. And I'm like, don't be talking like that around me.
Right.
Like,
Yep, my
okay,
first snake was a corn snake.
your first snake was a corn.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Mine was too. Mine
When I
was too.
was that
I
was
was
a long
wild
time
caught.
ago.
It was wild caught down by the creek, and I I thought that you could actually like teach them to not bite, and that didn't work out because it was scared.
Yeah.
And all I was used to is like dogs and cats and stuff, and it didn't work out. But I was super young. I used to catch all types of animals outside. Um, so it looks like my wife got the list together here. Let me confirm this real quick. Um, Hold on real quick. Hey, music loud. Sorry about that. So it looks like we got Cuddle Time Critters. Underworld Creations. Yep, Lekka, Larry, BJ, Flexin, Christopher, Gary, Frankie, Nick, and Jacob. So I don't know who this was right here, but this is your chance. If this was you
Oh yeah.
and you could prove it, then I might let you in. But I'm trying to see. So it wasn't Christopher because he commented before that. And wasn't BJ or Larry because they commented before that. I don't know. Whoever said this, though, you got an entry. So I feel bad not putting you in there, but I don't have no way of proving who you were. Um, but anyway, looks like I got everybody that was in there before 8:25. Cool. Cool. All right. So do y'all hear that? Y'all hear the music?
Yeah.
Can you hear it? Hold on real quick. Can you turn that music down, please? Hey. I'm not even ready for a house full of teenage boys. I swear to God. We're gonna end up fighting. All right. So that's pretty much all my questions. Did you have anything that you wanted to talk about?
um, we've touched on a lot. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Did you have any questions as far as like maybe something that you experienced or kind of uh, you've been wondering about in your breeding experiences or um, maybe had any issues uh, or anything like that?
I haven't had any issues, thankfully. Like nothing major. Um, I
That's
had,
good.
one snake with an eye, um,
Yeah. How'd you deal with that?
and a vet, and then I had to do this
That
oral medicine for like a week or whatever. That wasn't fun. Um,
yeah,
yeah, the snake did not like that. Um,
yeah. What was it? Do you
but
remember?
the
I mean,
medicine,
it was an antibiotic, but do you remember the exact antibiotic?
no, I have no
No.
idea. Something I probably couldn't pronounce.
Yeah.
But
Now, was that something that you even looked into if you could, like take care of yourself without going to the vet, or did you just go
I
to the
knew it
vet?
was going to need antibiotics. Because that was a snake that I rescued, and it was to the point
Oh
where
yeah,
I don't think any remedies would have helped.
yeah,
Um, so immediately I made a vet appointment, and thankfully the
yeah.
vet that I was going to back in Virginia actually used to keep and breed ball pythons, so he was extremely knowledgeable at end. So that was, really nice. So a lot of
That's good.
exotic vets, I feel like they don't know,
Yep,
that
yep.
portion of the exotic world, but
Yeah, there's a lot of vets that they'll do their best, but they are not very
right.
educated on snakes and what to look for. Um, but yeah, sometimes it just calls for you to take them in and got to do what you got to do to get them taken care of. That was actually a question that I used to have on here when I first started. Um, and I don't know if I worded it weird, but I stopped asking people because it seemed like it was like a hard question to answer. But let me see if I still have it on here. So I was like, for most common uh, issues, respiratory issues, um, like scale rot, um, mouth rot, stuff like that. Are you immediate to the vet, or do you try to solve that at home? Because coming up in my um, like growing my knowledge exponentially every day days, I ran into more people who disagreed with taking their animals to the vet than people who agreed with taking their animals to the vet.
Yeah.
And then it made me dig into why that was, and then it made me dig into almost trying to be ready for everything that could come. And there's no possible way that you can, but uh I wanted to, you know what I mean? Like I
Right.
really wanted to not. I luckily, knock on wood, haven't had to take any of them to the vet. I have gotten some uh, dewormer for the bearded dragons, um, but that was about it. But I took it out because like it was kind of like throwing people off, and like they were like, what do you mean?" And um,
It's a good subject to touch on though, that's for sure. A lot
yeah,
of people don't know, like, oh, I don't have to go to the vet. So I mean, it depends on the situation, depends on the person. Um, One thing in this hobby, or keeping exotic pets in general, your vet, appointments are going to cost a lot more than a typical dog or cat.
yeah,
So, that's always something to keep in mind too. I also keep ferrets. Um, so every pet I have is basically exotic.
yeah. That's right. I've seen you post some of the ferrets before.
Yeah, and so I mean, it just depends, but I'm not against going to the vet. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
But if it can be handled at home without stressing the snake out, I definitely would say take care of it at home.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm this sounds bad, but like I don't know if they were um, past the point where, or to, if there is a point where you can't, this is not effective, and you have to have something stronger. You need a culture or sample done by a vet to get
Right.
something different. But I've used Tylen 200 and injected it into the snakes, and I have helped a friend cure a for sure respiratory infection, and I have cured one myself. Um, Now it's not like I do it multiple times a month to where my success rate is up here to where I can say, this is foolproof. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, but at the same time, I've talked to plenty enough people who agree that Tylen 200 does work. So there's another one of my uh, good friends and mentor, Mr. Rob KY Constrictors. You heard of him? He's a good guy to follow. You can go check him out.
Actually, I've been like following
Yeah,
people as they like comment and stuff too.
yeah. He's one of the good guys, man. I like the ones. He's just got a video he just put out where they're transparent. They show everything, the good, the bad, and ugly, right? Because people constantly think that it's butterflies and unicorns and
Right.
cashing checks, and it's not. No, I mean, you're seeing already. It's there's definitely money to be made, and there's nothing wrong with making money, especially when you spend countless amount of hours in here or in your reptile room or breeding rats or doing
Right.
whatever you do for your business to make money. I seen a guy the other day. I know he has 200 or 300 snakes, and somebody talked about the money. And he was like, "Well, why can't I make money? I spend 40 to 60 hours in my snake room. What are you talking about?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a full time job. So uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
I I agree, but at the same time, somebody would be silly to think that they can take $4,000 and then turn around and start making money, you know, within a few months,
If
like
there's
making money.
anything that this hobby has taught me, it's patience.
Yeah.
I like that is the one thing I can certainly for a fact take away. Like it's taught me patience. Um,
For sure.
yeah, so a lot of people don't realize, the time and the effort that does go into this. They think, throw two snakes together, you make babies.
Yeah.
It's so much more. And like I said, I'm still learning every day, even after, you know, I only have, not even 30 snakes. So it's
Yeah.
not, I don't want to stop
Well,
learning.
it's I mean you're it's a lot. If you're not like comparing yourself to like Billy or somebody
Right,
who's got 3, 4, 500 snakes.
right.
When I first started, I was gonna stop at 15, 5 males, 10 females. That was it.
I don't have a
Luckily,
stopping point. I'm not going to give myself one because I know
I
I'll probably not listen to myself. So,
I am. I know I've been, unless this is my full-time job and I don't do nothing else, which I don't see that happening ever. But unless it was, I don't think I could ever go over like 150. Like that's
I think
man,
that's probably that's not a bad number. Yeah.
I've had some people on here that had 200. I've had um Bishop, Robert Bishop Ball Pythons. I think he said he had a little over 200. I know Rob's got quite a few. Uh, I mean it's definitely a lot of work. The more that you add them up, but I think that if you get a good system down and you commit yourself to it, that it's easily doable, even for one person, as
Right.
long as you love it. Because when you dread it, it's
No
it's
longer
it's
a
work.
hob. Like
Yeah,
it.
it's work.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it's
no longer a
real
hobby.
hard work. But when you love it, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still work, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad. So
Right.
Rob says you can have 30 or 3,000. You learn something every day.
Oh,
That's true.
absolutely.
That is true. All right, so I got the names in, I got the wheel going, and I'm ready to spin. Rob said yeah, about 150 now. Okay, man, that's not as much as I thought. I thought you was up about two something. Um, but that's me because he's when we talk about stuff, it seems like I know we've had hours of conversation. It seems like he talks about a snake that we never talked about before. So you'd think that you'd run out of snakes to talk about, but I mean, I guess not because I've done that with people too, and they're like, "Man, where'd you get that snake?" And I'm like, "What? I've had that." So but Rob's got a real nice collection. I actually need to get some information from you about the bamboo head ultra male female that you got. I don't need to, but I want to, but I don't want to because I wasn't supposed to buy no more snakes from 7 snakes ago. Okay. So don't message me, but message me. All right. So let's get. If anybody has any questions for Michaela, drop them in the comments, and then I will pop this spin the wheel up for this free Morph Nation Reptile shirt. I have. I'm gonna say any size. I can get any size shirt that you need. I don't have any made. I didn't want to make it because I wanted you to be able to pick your color and pick the color of the logo. So this is the logo. All right, and it'll look just like this. And whatever color shirt you want, short sleeve, flexing if you win, bro. You're gonna have to cut the sleeves off yourself because it's gonna come intact. But we'll get it spinning. Let's see who won this thing here real quick. I don't know how I can do this. Let me see. Hmm. I wish I had. I'll just do it this way. Okay. Wait, can you see that? Let me see
Yeah.
here. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Can everybody? Can we put that mic? The camera's like backwards, so I can
It
never.
is backwards. It's tripping me out too when I move.
So,
It's
so
backwards.
Are the names coming in clear though?
Uh, I have bad eyes, so I'm not the one to ask.
Oh Lord, you wear glasses
But
too? Oh crap. I done spent it. That one ain't gonna count. Unless y'all wanted to count, it ain't gonna count. I can't let it count. Let me reset it. Let me reset it. Let me reset it. Y'all didn't get to watch it. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna do that to him. I'm gonna send out two. The first one was Jacob Pulver, because that was my mistake. It landed on you. I'm gonna send you a shirt, bro. I got you. Cause I don't like that stuff. And one thing Rob told me is when you mess up, or taught me through him doing this, when you mess up or something goes wrong, just make it right. It ain't even worth the
right,
comments. What's funny is he did a drawing for a snake. I didn't win, and because his internet cut out and people were saying like, "Oh, we didn't see who won." Da, 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 da. He was like, "You know what? Just shut up. I'm gonna do another one. I'll same snake. I'll cover shipping whatever. Blue blue." I won. I was like, "What?" I won. So yeah, that uh that goes to show. Um, so here's Gary. He said if it hits me, free spin again. Much love, folks. So Gary's got y'all a spot for a free spin. So if it lands on Gary, then it's just gonna be spin again. So Jacob, I'm gonna actually let me see. I'm gonna take him out because he's already won his shirt. All right, and then we'll get it shuffled, and then we'll do a spin. All right. What the crap? All right, here it is. Y'all let me know if y'all can't see that clear enough. I'll take a screenshot or something.
I know it's clear.
Christopher. So cool. Congrats to Christopher and Jacob. Jacob? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jacob. I'll get with you guys and get you all can't see me. Get you all a shirt sent out. So cool. This has been fun. It was
yes.
nice getting to know you and talk with you um,
Oh, thank
about
you.
your
I appreciate
collection.
it.
Yeah, yeah. About your collection and what you got going on. Um, a lot of the uh, newer breeders that I've been having on the podcast and interviewing and talking to, I'm gonna be putting their names down in like a specific note folder to reach out back to in like a year if it's something you'd be interested in.
Oh, absolutely.
Not
Yes.
specifically like a year to the date that you come on, but maybe who knows.
I'm gonna
But
hold you
like
to
if I'm
it.
still doing it, like it's this. I don't know how people put out 2 YouTube videos a week or 3 or even one because this is like it's
All
so
the
hard
time.
sometimes. Yeah, it's so hard because it's not just like okay, people are like, well, all you gotta do is click live at 8 o'clock, but well, I gotta set this thing up. I got lights over here. Turn all the fans. Then I gotta be here, which means that I gotta be starting heading from somewhere else. And there's a lot going into it. I ain't ate dinner. Wife's done getting the kids showered and sleep. There's a whole bunch. I will continue to do my best to put one of these out every week at Tuesday at 8 p.m. But like I was saying, the reason I want to do that specifically is because not only to show everybody who follows and trying to keep up with your growth, but like your growth, like talking about what we talked about this time and like where you were, and you saying, "Oh yeah, I'm about 125, I think now," and I'm like, "Shoot, we was at 32 last time we talked. What happened?" And then just
Right.
seeing the transition and the growth. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing, like for real. I absolutely I love seeing it. I love taking like before and after pictures of my setup and how things have grown because it's really nice. So, but yeah, again, congrats, Christopher and Justin, um, and thank you for coming on the show. of the podcast. This is not the late night show, although it's late night. Um, and if you want to, I'm going to remove you from the stream and you just hang out backstage for a second.
All
I'm
right.
going to let everybody go and then I'll hop back there with you. All right.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. So that's the show. I'm gonna cut it off here. Been going for an hour 56 minutes. Appreciate all you all tuning in. Um, Real quick, Rob said I just started doing one content video plus one short per week. It's hard at times. Then and there at times when we have way too much to post, save it for a rainy day. That's right, bag it and tag it, man. Put it in the back seat. But anyway, again, appreciate y'all for tuning in for this week's podcast, the Cold Blooded Talks podcast, and I will see you all next week, same day, same time, Tuesday, 8 p.m. And we have Closet Herping, Seth with Closet Herping, gonna be our guest. So maybe giving away a shirt, maybe not. You got to tune in to find out. Y'all have a good night.